Welcome, dear visitor, to my very first mindfulness story, a gentle fairy tale created to help you unwind or drift off to sleep. This isn't your typical bedtime tale. It's infused with mindfulness to tune into your breath, your body, and your thoughts, all without judgment. You may notice that the story flows a little differently than you are used to, and that's okay. Find comfort in some quiet space and allow the words to carry you gently home to yourself. Settle in, take a deep breath, and let us begin. You stand on a cracked, dried up road. The air is dry, scorched, and the ground around you is striking in its desolation. Once grass grew here, the fields blossomed, but now only dust stirred aimlessly by the wind. The sun overhead holds no warmth, it only burns and tires. In the distance, somewhere on the horizon, remain memories of colors, sounds, and scents, as if the world has drained itself, as if it has lost something essential. Your steps are slow. You feel the dry earth beneath your feet, hard, crumbling, bearing your weight. You lift your eyes to the sky, where clouds flow fast, as if they too are fleeing something. The wind pushes them, just as it pushes you forward. You feel the wind brushing your face and arms, caressing your hair, but it's a cooling touch, without any comfort. It carries traces of stories, lost melodies, almost everything the world has forgotten. Still, your steps carry you onward. You are searching, though you don't know exactly what for. Shelter? Hope? Perhaps just an answer? You feel a subtle restlessness. You don't suppress it. You simply observe it, rising like a gentle wave, and then fading again. You don't judge what you see, you simply observe. Every swirl of dust, every breath of wind is part of this moment. What you feel may not be just restlessness. Maybe it's also longing, curiosity, or quiet anticipation. And when that strange palace with glass gates finally appears before you, it feels like an inhale. Something within you moves, as if you are crossing a threshold between past and future. Something inside you wants to remember it is not the first time you have seen this palace. Large doors made out of glass are standing ahead of you, as if they were waiting to swallow you whole. You can faintly see your reflection in them, but blurred. Curiosity gets the better of you, and you decide to head inside the palace. The weather outside is not promising, and twilight is getting close. You raise your hand and push against the gate, but unexpectedly, as your hand touches it, you realize it's incredibly cold. Is this ice? Yes, it is. What kind of palace is this, you wonder? But standing outside all night is not an option. You close your eyes. You take another breath, slowly, and then exhale. You focus on your hand. You feel a gentle pulsing in it, as if reminding you that you are alive, present. You sense it drawing in energy, warmth. You feel your hand gradually heating up. It radiates energy. You raise your hand and press it against the gate. The moment you touch the handle, something gives away, and your warmth unlocks the door. Now, you just need to push. You press your whole body weight into the gate, leaning into it, hoping that that will be enough. And it is. You are finally inside. Before you stretches a long hall lined with marble tiles. As your bare feet touch it, you feel a solid coolness. It's unexpectedly pleasant. The chill slowly rises from the ground throughout your body, like a reminder that you are truly here and part of this place. You feel each toe pressing against the stone, step by step. You can sense that the floor has stood here for hundreds of years, and will for hundreds more. The hall has high ceilings, merging into an arc painted with soft clouds, as if you hadn't even left the outside. The walls are painted a sky blue shade, shimmering slightly as the light hits them. You begin to tiptoe softly down the corridor, looking for any signs that someone else might be present in this palace. You softly call out, "Hello? Hello?" But no one answers, except your echo. You listen. The silence isn't empty, it's tense. It holds the echo of your breath. Each inhale, each word comes back to you, as if the space itself is breathing with you. What is it like being here right now, without expectation, just awareness? You wonder how empty this palace must be to echo like this, how vast it must be for you to feel its immensity so clearly. This palace looked far too well kept for no one to be found here. It wasn't typical. This place didn't follow any known historical style or architectural tradition. Lost in thought, you feel a gentle breeze on your face. Somewhere, something is open. You begin to feel a gentle fatigue, and it might not be a bad idea to find a place to rest. You notice your arms growing heavier. First the left, then the right one, then your right leg and your left. A weight and weariness washing over your body. With every breath in, you feel the heaviness spread a little further. And as you exhale, you don't resist it. You simply let it be, like a wave that slowly passes through you. You long for warmth, softness, something to balance out these sensations. You move forward, and ahead of you stretches a row of doors, lined up on both sides of the hall. Each door is made from a different material. You touch each one in turn. One is metallic, made out of rough, cold bronze. Another, polished gold, cool and smooth. The third is upholstered with soft padding. A door you wouldn't hesitate to use as a bed in harder times, laying your body down on its cushions. At each door you pause for a moment, just your hand and the surface, the chill of metal, the softness of fabric. All of these sensations bring you back to this very moment. You stop at the fourth door, made of oak, assembled from a few sturdy planks, solid and dependable, though quite plain for a palace like this. As you run your hand along it, you can't help but admire how finely it's been sanded. So smooth. There's no chance it could ever harm you. Inhale, and with that breath, a familiar scent returns to you. For a moment, a familiar feeling. You don't know exactly what it is, but you feel warmth, safety, a brief sense of being accepted. Besides, you think a door like this probably isn't guarding anything valuable, and maybe no one will mind if you step inside. You open the door and hear a soft chime. Why is that? As you enter the room, the wooden floor creaks slightly beneath your feet. It looks like a simple room, perhaps meant for servants. Inside, there is a wardrobe, a chest, and a bed. You head straight for the comfort of the bed. Slowly, you begin to remove the upper part of your clothing, folding it neatly. Then the lower part. Every movement is soft, calm, almost ritualistic, a preparation for sleep. You wonder where to put your clothes, and then your attention is drawn to the chest. At first glance, it seems ordinary, but as you focus more closely, you notice the beautiful metal work on it. Copper or bronze? You are not sure, but it's covered in various ornaments and symbols, both historical and magical in appearance. You open the chest and it's empty. Not that you would take anything or stole anything, right? At the very least, you will use it for your clothes and safely store them inside. When you close the chest, something clicks. And then you feel a soft breeze brush your face again. Strange. All the doors are shut. You glance towards the windows, but your eyelids are slowly growing heavy. From a seated position, you lie down on the bed and feel the weight of your body sink into the mattress. The pillow is cool and far fluffier than you would expect in a servant's quarters. For a moment, you could swear you have never felt softer sheets. So delicate you can barely feel them at all. At last, you are enveloped in the warmth you have longed for. The weight of all your travels disappears, and you finally have a safe space to let your eyes close. You are so tired. There's no room left for thoughts. You just sink deeper into the mattress, gently. With each exhale, every muscle in your body relaxes. Your shoulders, your neck, your back. Everything slowly slips into calmness. You can feel yourself drifting into the world of dreams. And then, in the distance, you hear that chime again. In a misty haze, you leap toward it. And with each leap, you come closer to the melody. The chime rings out far away, not loudly, but just enough to stay with you. You feel its tone intertwining with your breath and the rhythm of your dreaming. Then you open your eyes. You have found it. Your eyes are still half open, your body still soft, as if you are halfway between dreaming and waking. Light gently spills across the room. No sharp edges, only calmness. You take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. A thought goes through your head. Isn't it too soon? to wake up already? You sit up and glance around the room. A soft shimmer of daylight filters in. It looks like noon. Someone knocks gently at the door and opens it. A little girl. The young lady will have breakfast shortly, she proudly announces with a seriousness in her eyes. Her voice doesn't disturb you, it only reminds you that you are back from slumber. She has 2 braids down the sides of her face, rosy cheeks and amber eyes that, in the flicker of light, shine almost like a golden Romanian honey. You give her a small nod, and she turns lightly on her heel and disappears. You notice the soft sound of her steps, the light click of the door closing. You open the chest, and your clothes are gone. The only thing left inside is a servant's uniform. There's no other option, so you just put it on. Surprisingly, for a servant's garment, it's quite comfortable. Cashmere. And you savor the soft glide of the fabric against your skin. It seems that they value their servants here. You step out of the room and, guided by intuition, follow the music. A harp and a violin, a beautiful combination. Your breath slowly sinks with the rhythm of the harp. Inhale, step. Exhale, melody. As you walk through the hall, you realize you are barefoot. The cold, stony floor gently refreshes the soles of your feet. Thankfully, it's been smoothly polished, and you feel as though you could glide across it like on a frozen pond. Following the music leads you to a sunlit room. Sunbeams reflect off the white floor and sting your eyes just slightly. Not unpleasantly, just enough to remind you that you are part of the noon. Music, sunlit windows, a grand table set for breakfast, young servants standing in a row, and the princess dancing near the musicians. She sways in a circle, holding her skirt in one hand, her other arm moving gracefully with the melody. Her eyes are half closed. A self-satisfied smile lies on her lips. In the morning light, her golden hair sparkles, wavy like little sheep, like a wool woven out of gold. You're slightly surprised that her hair isn't particularly neat. It bounces with her in a soft, formless cloud, drifting wherever her steps happen to take her. The princess stops and sees you watching her. She pauses and sees you. You don't know what to expect, but you don't feel afraid. You simply meet her gaze, bright, vivid eyes, alive, just like the music surrounding her. She stands before you in the glow of morning light, fractured through the mosaic windows. Colors: turquoise, honey gold, rose, and violet are painted across her hair and dress. She looks as if she were made of light, dreams, and flower petals. The princess gazes at you, sparks dancing in her eyes, and then asks a question you weren't expecting. Do you remember why you came? It catches you off guard. You haven't even had time to bow properly. You're not sure what to say, but before you can draw a breath to respond, she adds, "That's alright, even if we forgot, the body remembers." She smiles gently and gestures toward the large glass doors leading to the terrace, where a beam of warmth is just beginning to break through the clouds. "Come," she says simply, as if she has known you for a long time. Sometimes all we need is a moment of quiet to remember again. As you step out onto the terrace, the air is slightly warmer. In the distance lies a lake, smooth as a mirror, reflecting clouds that drift far more slowly than you remember. Around it, trees whisper softly, and everything seems to breathe slowly, as if the whole world wanted to meditate with you. The princess gestures toward a bench and sits at its edge. She closes her eyes and places a hand over her heart. Sometimes all it takes is to breathe, and then it comes on its own. You follow her example and gently close your eyes. You begin to slowly scan your body, breathing deeply. Inhale, exhale. You scan from your feet up through your chest and all the way to the crown of your head. Inhale, exhale. You feel the wind on your face, but it no longer pushes, it only caresses. Inhale, exhale. You feel your feet on the ground, the floor beneath you, your hands resting by your sides. Inhale, exhale. And then you remember, not in words, not in images, but in a feeling. why you came here. And there's no need to describe it. It's enough to simply know. When you open your eyes, the princess is already looking at you with a face that tries to hide excitement. You know that this place, however beautiful, is not the whole world. And what you found here isn't just rest. It's an invitation to return and not alone. She nods silently, as if she knows you have remembered. The door will remain open whenever you need to return, and you understand that it wasn't just an offer, it was a reminder. Princess, you say softly, we need you. She smiles, but there is sorrow in her eyes. They have forgotten. I sensed your melody, even when I couldn't name it. I felt you, even when I didn't know what I was searching for. She stays quiet for a moment, and then she nods. The princess steps closer to you and reaches out her hand. You gently take it. Her palm is warm, gentle, and carries a faint scent of fruit and sunlight. The moment you touch her, you feel comfort. All the heaviness melts away, and the world around you begins to tremble. She leads you slowly to the center of the room, among the servants who glanced at you only briefly, not with curiosity, not with judgment, but with acknowledgement. The palace had begun to change. You noticed it first in the light. The gold faded from its beauty. The marble lost its shine, growing rough and dry like weathered stone. From the cracks, green shoots began to sprout, and the dust in the air gently drifted to the floor, as if it has lost its lightness. She stood there for a moment longer, silent and peaceful. The wind played in her hair, and when she looked at you one last time, there was no sorrow in her eyes. Instead, understanding, perhaps even gratitude. She said nothing, and yet you understood. She reached out her hand, not to stop you, but as a gesture that could never be forgotten. Then she closed your eyes. When you open your eyes, you rise, your feet caressed by soft and familiar grass. The air smells of rain, though it hasn't rained. It is morning. The sky above you is pale and clear. A kind of light in the air you hadn't seen in a long time breaks through the clouds before you. In this moment, everything is different. Not because of what you remember, but because of what you realize you have been missing. The shadows are shorter. The blossoms turn toward the sun. A silence accompanies you. Not the heavy, hollow silence you know from the world you came from, but a silence full of life, like a forest still asleep, preparing for a spring to rain again. Somewhere deep within you, something soft remains, like a presence that needs no name. The world wasn't new, but suddenly it had a reason to grow again. Not as a person, but as a gentle light in the leaves, as the warmth in your chest, as the calm that stayed behind. You are surrounded by green fields, and here and there you see a tree bowing under the strength of the wind. The leaves rustle and whisper, being thankful. The world has found you, and because it saw you here once more, it begins to breathe again.